Wait, we can't possibly play everyone in the upper bracket. Or do we?
Yeah, we do. There's 9 games. You play everyone from every other bracket.
Wait, there are 10 teams in the top bracket?
12.
12.
Yeah, so
But you only play 9 games.
Oh, yeah, we did
against
play
people
12.
not good.
Sure.
Well, hopefully that captures everybody. There we go.
Now I can actually see all of you, I think. All right, yeah, I'm recording this for posterity so future generations can know what Griswold was like in 2013. All right, let's get some names.
Alex.
Alex. Excellent.
Presume I can shut the door. Or perhaps I can't.
Well, Chris, you don't mind me recording you?
Chris.
Huh?
Got some chocolate
And
chip.
you? You're covered in-
And you
Is
are
this like
Chris
this
M.
door?
Chris M.
He's Chris Farr.
I know who he is.
What is it that did this to me?
Probably Chuck.
I have a vague memory of shoulder.
Brian.
Excellent. Brian, with an I or a Y?
Who is this bride?
Who is this?
Who indeed? Who indeed? Okay.
Just trying to put my sweater on at the time.
No, it's just, it's been hot the entire time, and you've been taking off your sweater and putting it back on several times.
Yeah.
This is not a correct scientific observation.
Here we go. Turn your eye. Ready?
All right, hallelujah.
Here we go. Toss it. This bracket is brought to you by Albert and
Oh, sorry, can I check this real quick?
Absolutely. You are number 4. Does anybody else want? You're number 3.
No.
Albert just was.
You did it.
You are number 2. You are number 5.
Always this third.
3. That was 3 red. No, you're good? Okay, good. Here we go, toss it 1. While in a garden, this character fantasizes about wearing a branched velvet gown and playing with some rich jewel. He first appears in the 5th scene of Act 1, where a woman claims that he is sick of self-love and tastes with a distempered attitude. A suitable boy, Kabir, is disappointed to be cast as this character, whose final line exclaims,
It is Malvolio.
"You read a suitable boy, did you?"
No. Are you kidding? I'll get back to you when I have a free year or two.
Here's your bonus. Identify the following artists who have created paintings of the apocalypse for 10 points each. Nude figures take shelter under green and yellow cloths as a man in blue waves his arms in the air. In this artist, the opening of the 5th seal. He also painted a notable view of Toledo.
El Greco.
This man's Last Judgment triptych, where Jesus sits on a rainbow above an armored angel, was once stolen by the privateer Paul Beneke. This German-born artist of the Flemish Renaissance also created the Shrine of St. Ursula.
Me and Flemish
Yeah.
German from this time, me and him.
What do you got?
Sean.
This is Hans Memling.
Oh,
This
that's
artist from Cortona created the confusing School of Pan and a series of works for the Chapel of the Madonna di San Brizio, including The Preaching of the Antichrist and The Damned Consigned to Hell.
Yeah, well, probably
A
not.
fabulous painting.
Do you Cortona? Like, is there a Cortona?
Answer.
Defer.
Say again?
Signal.
That's right.
Oh, Lucas and Aaron? Good job, dude.
You received nice remarks. Toss of 2. One work by this artist was inspired by Neapolitan peasants he saw dancing on his honeymoon and consists of an intricate array of round-scale geometric figures. Another work by this artist features a contraption comprised of a phonograph linked to a piston with a mechanical arm, all of which is attached to a tuning fork. In addition to painting Dances at the Spring and Amorous Procession, he used a spark plug with the word "forever" on it to represent the title Young American Girl in the State of Nudity. He's not Picasso, but he prominently depicted the bare shoulders of Gertrude. That's 4.
Man rat?
Nope.
Sorry.
But he prominently depicted the naked shoulders of Gertrude Stein in a portrait. This artist created a painting with various geometric shapes inscribed in circles surrounding 2 blue gears which are labeled with the words femme and homme. Another creation of this artist derives its name from Stieglitz's periodical 291. For 10 points, name this artist who produced Machine Turn Quickly in addition to creating the Dadaist Journal 391.
Art.
No, it's Francis Baccavian.
I just showed you much.
Okay. Third toss. This technique's output is commonly analyzed using a general linear model paired with a temporal convolution model. While its multiple comparisons issue is dealt with using continuous random field theory, this technique's spatial resolution is typically measured in about 10 voxels, while its temporal resolution is on the order of a few seconds. A study by McClure et al. Used this technique to look at how people react to Coke and Pepsi, while a number of marketing startups have tried to use it to understand how people respond to brands more generally. Facilitated by Seiji Ogawa's discovery that the difference between oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood can be detected.
Like functional MRI.
That's where you.
Okay.
What? Okay, good job.
Let's get to the biology aspect.
Here's your bonus. This organization is named from Ronald Reagan's press secretary, who was paralyzed in 1981 assassination attempt. We have my teaching names prominent gun control advocacy group.
Or just say Brady, I guess. Brady?
I guess I gotta prompt you.
Group? I don't know. Brady organization, I don't know what this
This is called the Brady Campaign.
Sorry, it's included the Brady Bunch.
so-
We're looking for a bunch.
This state, led by Governor John Hickenlooper, is one of several that have passed new gun control laws in the wake of the Newton, Connecticut school shooting.
I think Keith Looper, he's from somewhere else.
I don't know.
Colorado.
That's right. In response to the shooting, the NRA launched this program, which ended up publishing a report promoting the arming of school staff.
Is that a name?
I remember it.
I remember having that press conference, you're like, here's our solution!
You have to really dig deep into. Okay.
I remember what it's called.
It's called School Shield.
Okay.
I'll be frank with you, I did not know this either, so I'm going to give you 10 points if you feel that you want to protest the Brady.
No, whatever.
Okay, well, if you care, let me know and I will mark it. Toss 4. These events have been remarkably common in the evolution of acrybitrids, causing an unusual pattern in the Seikoff-Heredity model that contrasts with the distribution found in most birds. The products of these events appear multicolored following fish assays. Alternate and adjacent one patterns result from these events due to pseudo-linkage. The rapid evolution of genes like the histone variant CEMPA mediates the loss of parity caused by a form of meiotic drive in which a type of these events occur because a selection ending up in a polar body. That form involves the fusion of the Q arms of two acrocentric entities to form a metacentric one, and is termed Robertsonian. This
Non-destruction.
No.
that is not what I have.
No? Okay, sorry.
The reciprocal type of these events involve the exchange of non-homologous material and includes the event that creates the Philadelphia chromosome. The templates name these genetic aberrations involving part of one chromosome breaking off and attaching to another.
Translocation.
That is the answer.
That toss was terrible. The entire time it's like, we're just moving stuff around.
All right,
What do you
all
want to
right.
say?
Present your chance to Andrew
Break it.
Olsberger, who will be the target of criticism. Shut up. In bulk semiconductors, an applied electric field causes a change in the valence band maximum, resulting in a change in absorption as the wavelength of the fundamental absorption edge shifts. 10 points each. Name the effect thus caused by linkage of wave functions out of the valence band. It does not require a quantum well, but only a bulk semiconductor.
I don't really know anything about solid state physics.
I don't really either. So it's going to be on this bonus. Answer.
I don't know.
It's called the Franz-Keldysh effect.
Okay.
The wave functions of the electrons and holes in the Franz-Keldysh effect take on this form: solutions to differential equation y double prime minus xy equals 0.
Oh. Sure, whatever. That's not great.
What do you have for me? Elliptic. No, these are airy functions.
Oh.
The Franz-Keldysh effect occurs in uniform media, unlike the quantum confined form of this other effect. This is the splitting of spectral lines in an electric field. It has an AC version named for all their towns.
Stark.
There's your 10 points.
Should have actually looked at every function. I never did use one for anything. Quantum chemistry.
Awesome. 5. Philip Perlman held this position under Harry Truman, becoming the first Jewish person to do so. It's not an ambassador to Great Britain, but this was the highest executive branch office that held by John Davis prior to his 1924 electoral loss to Calvin Coolidge. A former holder of this office was selected to investigate the death of Vince Foster and the Whitewater scandal, and eventually issued a namesake for.
Like, Solicitor General.
That is correct.
It's Ken Stark.
Yeah. Certainly was. This man led a 60,000 strong invasion force into Ethiopia, which helped prompt the British to send Kirchner against him. Remember, each named this man who led rebel Sudan after the death of the Mahdi.
Oh, God. Abdullah.
No, it's the Khalifa, or Abdullah ibn Muhammad. The Khalifa was crushed with this 1898 battle on the outskirts of Khartoum. The Fashoda incident took place thereafter.
Yeah, that's right.
The Battle of Omdurman was set up by the British victory at this previous battle, fought 6 months later at a spot where the namesake river flows into the Nile.
Shit. This is called. Oh, God.
Impress me. No. It's the Battle of Atbara. You received 10 points.
Well, technically, I should have been fine. I don't know how I felt with it. I just be naming shit up anyway, so.
What do you got? Toss of six. Nikah halala is a concept from Sharia law that limits the number of times one may participate in this ceremony. In Bengal, a man participating in this ceremony may wear a topor, a type of conical hat, while the Shinto equivalent of the ceremony involves a white scarf. Among the Hindus, this type of ceremony involves the alpasana, a sacred fire.
It's just marriage. What nikah means, it's marriage. It's the word for marriage. That's Arabic. For
Well.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Here's
the
your
word
bonus.
after it said the word marriage. Waffle.
Many of these productions were based on adaptations by George Aiken and Henry Conway, who introduced the heroic character Penetrate Party Side for which is so wrong. Which have points each. Many of these popular 19th century productions, which often converted the lawyer Marx into a comic character and used blackface to portray Topsy.
So like, no, it's like the Jim Crow theater things, right? Right? Like Jim Crow theater
No.
things, minstrel shows.
No, these are called Tom shows or performances of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, yeah, no.
Tom shows usually diluted Harry Beecher Stowe's anti-slavery message to focus on the tragic death of this daughter of Augustine St. Clair.
Ava, right? Ava.
Yeah. Tom shows also frequently included elements of minstrelsy, which was popularized by this 19th century comedian who imitated a crippled slave to create the blackface character Jim Crow.
Yeah, this came up. What was his name? I wrote down ICT. What was his name?
Wilkes.
No, this dude's name was Thomas Daddy Rice. So you get 10 points.
Ah, it was unfortunate.
Here comes toss of 7. This work is subject to the Bressure de Bourbourg ordering because no text of it lacked punctuation. Several vignettes in this work include the impregnating of the daughter of a local lord by a skull which spits into her hand, the creation of gods through a crop.
Okay, that happens. Good job.
Yeah.
Way too good for us. The whole one.
Yeah.
Bonus for you. In this technique, a droplet undergoes Coulomb fission once it reaches its rated limit. For example, I teach. Name this technique used in mass spec, in which an applied potential causes the formation of a fine aerosol containing the sample.
It's electrospray ionization, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they don't like the cone or anything. Electrospray ionization.
ESI and MALDI are considered this type of ionization technique, which produces relatively few fragment ions, making these methods more suitable for the analysis of large biomolecules.
Gentle?
Sure.
I'm not sure. Gentle?
Soft ionization.
Ah.
This method of ionization involves mixing the analyte into a liquid matrix material and hitting it with a high energy beam of neutral atoms such as xenon to generate molecular ions.
No, this had that.
They said
I'm going to say another word because
Do we know anything else?
What do you got for me?
Neutral.
Fast atom bombardment, or FAB. That is 10 points on the
Mass
bonus.
spec clue.
Here comes toss of 8. These numbers can be defined using Leibniz's notation through the use of clouds, shadows, and monads. The transfer principle is used to define this set by requiring all first-order statements that hold for this field's more familiar subfield to hold for it. This field does not form a metric space, but does support an order topology. It is split into classes of equivalents of mutual approximations, each of which contains exactly one finite number. The map from this field to its more familiar subfield is called the standard part function. The standard parts of these numbers are arbitrarily close to a corresponding real number. They are thus used extensively in non-standard analysis. For 10 points, saying this extension of the real numbers includes both infinite, 3 over here.
shit. Like hyperreals.
That's what they is.
Adventures in
Delightful. Here's your bonus. In one scene in this play, Chiron and Demetrius murder Pausanias in order to rape his betrothed, Lavinia, for 10 points each. Name this Shakespeare play which chronicles a cycle of revenge between Tamara, Queen of the Goths, and the titled Roman general. In this other play, the ghost of Don Andrea and a spirit of revenge serve as the chorus and remain on stage the entire time. Its fourth and final act climaxes with a bloody performance of Soliman and Preseda.
Still Shakespeare?
I don't think so.
Okay, Spanish tragedy, I'm just saying.
Sure, it's Spanish tragedy. Uh-huh. Another play within play appears in this comedy by Francis Beaumont, which begins with a grocer interrupting the prologue of The London Merchant and forcing his apprentice Rafe on stage.
Beaumont. This could be,
I don't need a good one. I want any of them. What do you got?
I don't know. This is
The Night of the Burning Pestle.
Oh, that's what that is.
That is what that is. You got 20 points. Toss of 9. In the final act of this play, characters representing the hours of the night cross a platform at the rear of the stage and recite quotes from philosophers. It ends with a character claiming that the end of this play isn't written yet. As she begins to repeat its first scene, the stage manager, Mr. Fitzpatrick, interrupts the action of this play in order to admonish the actress, Miss Somerset, who repeatedly breaks the fourth wall. The fortune teller Esmeralda appears in its second act, which is set on a broad walk at Atlantic City, and ends with a storm signal forecasting the end of the world. The maid Lily Sabina, that's 4 over here.
Skin part teeth.
It was, man. This game's bad.
yeah.
Here's your bonus. The Savile report denied that the opening shots of this event were fired by Edward Heath's government for 10 points each. Dating this 1972 event in the Bogside neighborhood of London area, in which 26 unarmed protesters were shot by the British Army, shares its name with many other massacres, including one in Russia.
Bloody Sunday.
Many victims of Bloody Sunday were members of this group, which organized nonviolent protests in Northern Ireland during the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, it's like those women, like the Mothers for Peace.
No, it's NICRA, or the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association. Many Northern Irish Protestant groups use this colorful symbol, which appears on the flag and seal of Ulster and dates back to ancient times.
Oh, yeah. Is it white hand, red hand?
I don't know.
Red hand. Nah, Saruman got the white hand. Good call.
Indeed. Okay.
After
After which a score check. This man moved his court to the city of Raqqa. This ruler sparked the rebellion of Rafi ibn al-Layth by appointing an unusually strict governor of Khorasan, and it was en route to crush that rebellion that this ruler died. The historical account, Meadows of Gold, predominantly features this ruler. This ruler sent the albino elephant Abu al-Abbas to Charlemagne as a gift, and his death caused a civil war between his two sons. A scandal during this man's reign involved his sister becoming impregnated by Jafar, the son of the Grand Vizier Yahya, which led to the downfall of the powerful Barmakid family, and he's famous for patronizing the president.
Al-Mahmoud.
Say again?
Al-Mahmoud.
That's not what I have. For 10 points, he was powerful fifth caliph of the Abbasid dynasty. Okay, that's time. It's Harun al-Rashid.
Is it good? Okay, he's famous for patronizing what?
The arts and sciences.
Oh, okay. Alright. That I said it's fine. I went to this. It's my fault.
Okay, at halftime.
That's right. Because that's like why I wasn't saying the actual.
At halftime, the score is 105-70.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, here we go.
Okay.
Toss of 11. The reaction of these compounds with acetylene may proceed by a trap and bite mechanism rather than one involving a high-energy force-centered path. A modification that uses catalytic amounts of these compounds involves a 1% solution of a bromide salt and forms them from similar compounds, which rarely react at negative 78 degrees. These compounds only attack acyl halides once, producing photos. So Dolan reagents? I can accept that. That is one of the 5 million answers. This is one of the 5 million answers listed here. A bonus is given to you. This deity is predicted to ride around on a winged horse, killing thieves by the millions with his weapon, Asi, for 10 points each. In this cleansing god of Hindu mythology, his name is translated from Sanskrit as white horse.
Kalki, yeah, sure. Kalki.
Yes. The arrival of Kalki will end a period of time characterized by discord and apathy, and named for Kali. Such periods are known by this name.
Yuga.
The beginning of the current Kali Yuga is dated to late January or early February 3000 BCE. Exactly. The date that this figure ascended to heaven.
Like, okay, it's like one of like the incarnations. I think maybe Rama. I don't know. I forget. Rama.
Krishna.
Okay, sorry.
Alright. A toss-up. 12. This composer's works inspired Richard Strauss's Suite Divertimento. One of this composer's works include a satire divided into 5 acts, which mocks a guild of minstrels called the Menestrandes. This composer wrote a cycle of 9 tenebrae lessons, but only the 3 he composed for Holy Thursday survive. He composed a series of concerts subtitled Tastes Reunited, which blended French and Italian styles and included pieces such as The Mysterious Barricades in his 4 books of harpsichord works, which he divided into 27 orders. A suite named for this composer includes a forlon and a rigadoon, among 6 pieces dedicated to soldiers killed during World War II. A bonus for you. One character in this novel exclaims, "All for each and each for all," as he fights for Greek independence, or 10 points each. Name this novel, which consists of a series of letters addressed to Bellarmine and the title character's beloved Diotima. Brahms set it to music in his Song of Destiny.
We had like a Goethe thing or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm just.
I can't make
What do you got?
Egmont.
Hyperion
Okay.
was written by this German romantic poet of Patmos and bread and wine.
It's one of those
I
people.
think that's right, yeah.
Holderlin?
This English romantic poet and a contemporary of Holderlin never finished his epic poem Hyperion. He also wrote odes on melancholy and to Psyche.
Shelley, what are these? All beats.
Keats.
Okay.
That'd be 20 points.
Okay.
Toss up 13. The final stanza of one of these poems exclaims, "If we could only find our own strip of fruitful land between river and stone," after questioning, "Weren't you amazed by the caution of human gesture on added gravestones?" One of these poems asks, "Does the cosmic space we dissolve into taste of us then? And when we feel when we feel evaporate?" The opening lines of the second one invoke almost deadly birds of the soul before wondering, where are the days of Tobias? The first of these poems observes that we are not really at home in our interpreted world and calls beauty the beginning of terror that we are just able to endure. Their author claimed that he was inspired to write them after taking a walk along seaside cliffs and hearing a voice say, "Who if I crowd?"
Micrometers?
Bonus for you. After this battle, the losing commander, Prince Hohenlohe, was pursued back into Prussia, where he was surrounded and captured for Campotige. Named this crushing 1806 victory for Napoleon over Frederick William III, Clausewitz and Ego both witnessed this battle and wrote books inspired by it.
So bad.
I was thinking of
Jenna. I don't know anything about the Jenna.
Yep.
Yes.
While Napoleon fought the Battle of Jena, this French general simultaneously fought and won the Battle of Auerstadt, where the Prussian force was actually larger.
Who's another guy? European history.
Yeah.
Answer?
We don't know.
Davout.
Okay.
After 2 days after Jena Auerstadt, Napoleon captured this German city, which was home to an unsuccessful 1850 attempt to create a union of German states.
Oh, what's the
It's
like?
like Zollverein is what it
No,
was.
no, like the not Nuremberg. Munich.
What do you have?
Not Munich.
Erfurt.
Erfurt. Yes.
10 points. Toss it. This book's 5th chapter cites a then recent work by Alexander Nehamas to help explain that what one is means whom one turned oneself into in the course of creating the taste by which one ended up judging oneself. This book defines descriptive language, which, if questioned, leaves its user with no non-circular response, which it calls a final vocabulary, and claims that in writing in Bois, Derrida did for the history of philosophy what Proust did for himself. Its final section is dedicated to discussions of books about cruelty and includes a chapter about Nabokov titled The Barber of Caspian. Offering Heidegger and Nietzsche as philosophical examples of one titled Attitude, this work argues that both selfhood and language are historically determined, and that the third title concept consists of extending our sense of we to people whom we previously thought of as they. For 10 points, identify this philosophical.
Contingency and irony and solidarity.
You get 10 points. Yeah, that was a question I rewrote from scratch. It was much worse in the submitted form.
No doubt.
Here is a bonus for you. For 10 points, you get a chance to the following about free jazz. This free jazz artist pioneered the concept of space music and claimed to be Angel from Saturn. His discography is among the largest in music history and includes albums as Secret of the Sun and Space is the
So it's
Place.
Sun Ra, right? He was totally insane. Sun Ra.
An important pioneer of free jazz was this influential post-bop double bassist, known for his allegedly fearsome temper. He composed Pithecanthropus erectus and Goodbye Porcupine Path. This excellent Mingus album was partially written as a ballet and is broken into 6 movements with names such as solo dancers and group dancers. He recorded after he was released from the Bellevue Psychiatric Ward in 1963.
Anything about Mingus?
Answer? This is the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady.
Yeah, not something we're gonna get.
That is
Good
20 points on the bonus. Toss of 15. During this war, one side launched a series of amphibious landings called Operation Albion. One nation led this conflict under the Foscani Armistice. Operation Fist Punch was an offensive that led to one treaty signed during this war. This conflict saw brutal conditions during the 6-month siege of Przemysl, and an early battle in this war ironically saw a general named Paul von Rennenkampf lose to a German army. This so-called Great Retreat followed this war's Gorlice-Tarnov offensive, which ended with one-sided firm control of Galicia and caused the Tsar to personally take control of the army. General Alexei Brusilov launched a failed offensive during this war. Early in this war, Russia suffered major defeats at the...
What is happening? World War I?
That's a correct answer.
Paul von Rennenkampf?
Whatever, dude.
I ruled out, like, is there any other
I
possible?
mean, that's all that happened.
Yeah, it did, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that question.
ACF Nationals tricks you sometimes. Here's your bonus. This process has been correlated with success as an invasive species in biflagellate sperm in the genus and most famously occurs in corbicula clams. For 10 points each. Name this process that discards the egg during syngamy, passing on only clonal sperm and allowing unisexual males to act as genomic parasites of related species. It can be induced in vitro in the pollen of moonflowers. Holy shit, what the fuck did I just read?
So something only males like androgenesis, spermatogenesis, it's not spermatogenesis.
What do you got for me?
Androgenesis.
That is correct. Androgenesis is an example of this type of reproduction practiced by bdelloid rotifers and parthenogenetic skinks. Populations that undergo this form of reproduction accumulate harmful mutations according to Muller's ratchets.
Oh yeah, that's right. Asexual.
Yes, in contrast to hemiclonal and autonictic variants, this form of asexual reproduction involves suppression of meiosis, so offspring are maternal clones. It is contrasted with vegetative reproduction in angiosperms. What do you got for me?
Pollinating.
It's apomixis.
Yeah.
You were
Oh, yeah, well, it wasn't gonna happen twice.
That was 10 more points than I thought you were getting. Okay, so at the 3/4 mark, the score I have is 165 Maryland, 150 Georgia
Yep.
Tech.
We have a free of
Very
science
good,
for it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Toss of 16. In a novella named for one of these figures, the orphan Aubrey falls in love with the uneducated Greek girl Ianthe after traveling to Rome with Lord Ruthven. Another of these...
That's right.
Okay. That is right up.
Fine, buds.
It's
You'll enjoy this
really
bonus,
terrible manners.
which asks you to name some things about Scientology, none of which is Lord Xenu.
Oh, Jerry!
I didn't write this, man. Whatever.
Please slap the table and yell Xenu.
The basic concept of Scientology is that people have this kind of life force within them that is reborn each time an individual dies. Scientologists measure their level of this force. As part of Dianetics, Scientologists undergo this type of counseling with a bureaucratic name when they are attached to an e-meter device which helps them clearly monitor
They were doing this on the wall the other weekend. The building, yeah.
Yeah, Scientologists with a theme level of 8 or higher are invited for training on board this cruise ship, which is owned by the Church of Scientology.
Oh man, how would anyone know that?
I would actually probably have told this, but just because I've read like all the, like so the Village Voice had all the series of
I don't know,
articles on
man.
Scientology, all of which I read.
New Dawn on that.
No, it's called Freedwinds.
Great.
You get 20 points. You may present your complaints to Bruce if you wish. Toss up 17. A state park along a river with this name is named for Raymond R. Andy Guest. That park houses Herbert Hoover's Rapidan Camp and is traversed by Skyline Drive. The valley with this name is at the center of controversy over the proposed widening of Interstate 81.
Shenandoah.
Guess so.
Unfortunate.
Here is a bonus for you. A stolen relic of Muhammad brings disaster to everyone who finds it in this author's short story, The Prophet's Hair. For 10 points each, name this author who included a short story about the childhood of Hamlet Yorick in his collection East West. In 2012, he released his memoir, Joseph Anton.
Sure. I think I Rushdie.
Yeah. Rushdie began under using the pen name Joseph Anton after writing this novel about Jibril Farisha and Saladin Shamsha. Its account of the life of Muhammad, the actual Khomeini, the issue of Fatwa decree, and Rushdie's death.
Satanic verses.
East-West also includes a short story which is bookended by the assassinations of Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. Its two title characters are expatriate Indians in Great Britain who give themselves nicknames from Star Trek.
Spock and Kirk. Or Kirk and Spock. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Kirk and Spock.
Your intuition was correct, but the actual answer is Chekhov and Zulu. But 20 points are yours.
Okay.
180, 195.